Hey everyone, we're back for another weekly video, and this one is about setting realistic fitness goals. And we don't even have to include fitness in there. Just setting realistic goals in general can sometimes be a hard thing for people to grasp, and that's okay. But we want to talk about how we can specifically do that with our fitness goals. And you're going to notice that a lot of the topics that I am covering in these videos are very overlap things, because they just naturally kind of work in harmony with one another. So if you feel like, didn't I already watch this video? There might be some things here that I've already talked about in a previous video. So just kind of that little caveat there as we continue on. So too often too, I just want to start when we're talking about setting realistic fitness goals. Too often, fitness goals are reduced to a number on a scale. That's all there is. That's fine. Most Americans do need to lose some weight. I have some body weight that I can lose. So I do want to still do that. But we need to lose that weight to live in a healthier, stronger body, not to make it look a certain way. So I just want to put that out there, but that's not the only fitness goal that we can aim for. So we can set a goal to, finish a program lifting heavier with more reps, move with more power, to move faster. But how do we get there? How do we set that goal and make sure it's realistic? I'm going to use the classic acronym in goal setting, which is SMART goals. So we have SMART, S-M-A-R-T. There will also be another little, you can see an infographic down there in the calendar content as well. But we start out with that SMART, specific. So what exactly are you trying to achieve? That's the question you want to ask yourself. What exactly are you trying to achieve? Saying I want to be stronger is a good thing, but it's not very specific. So you can change that. You know that you'll be stronger if you can increase your weights. So I want to lift 85% of my 1 rep max. If you remember from last week, we talked about how we determine our 1 rep max. Or I want to increase my 1 rep max. So that's something that saying specifically. And if you have a weight loss goal, put a number on it. I want to lose 5 pounds. Not, I just want to lose some weight. I want to lose 5 pounds. Make it specific. The second, so S, specific, M, measurable. How will you know when you've achieved this? That's a big question. How will we know when we've achieved that goal? Well, I'll know that I'll have achieved the 5% weight loss when I've lost 5 pounds. I know that I'll be able to complete a toe push-up when I've completed 1 toe push-up. And by getting specific, that first part that we were looking at, you're going to be able to determine the measure with which you measure your success a whole lot easier. So that's why it is very, very, good to be incredibly specific. And then we can kind of cut out things after we've done that. We make it really specific, and then we can determine, is it going to be, now moving on to the A, attainable? In the time frame I want to achieve this, is saying I want to lose 50 pounds in 6 weeks attainable? No, absolutely not. For no one, I don't even know what circumstance that losing 50 pounds in 6 weeks would be an acceptable circumstance. But losing 5 pounds in 6 weeks, a pound a week, roughly, is totally doable. It's attainable. So is it genuinely possible to achieve this goal? That's the question you need to ask yourself. And any goal can be an achievable goal with or an attainable goal with a different time period. So you might be able to say, I will lose 50 pounds in 1 year. totally doable. That's about a pound a week. That's something that could be doable if you have 50 pounds to lose, of course. But making sure that it's attainable, then we can kind of revamp our specificity of, I want to lose this. I want to increase my weights to, 10 pounds. That's same as saying, I want to deadlift 200 pounds when you've only ever deadlift 20 pounds. You're probably not going to achieve that in 6 weeks. The SMAR, fourth one, R, relevant. It has to be relevant to you. It can't be something that is just kind of outside of yourself. It has no relevance to your day. It's not important to you, so you're not going to make time to achieve that goal. So how is this goal relevant to you? That's kind of the fourth question you have to ask yourself. You should be willing to sacrifice something to achieve this goal. Another thing to think about. What are you willing to sacrifice to achieve this goal? And if there's nothing you're willing to sacrifice to achieve that goal, it's not relevant. It's never going to happen. Just plain and simple. It's not going to happen. So, you won't make time to work out if it isn't important to you. So it has to be important to you. It has to be relevant. And then finally, they have to be time bound. Now, the great thing about Winter Challenge Program is I have given you the time bound in this time frame of 6 weeks. So that's your time bound if you want to create that fitness goal around just the 6-week program. But I think I said earlier, you can aim for a year. By this time next year, I want to increase my 1 rep max by 10%. I don't know, but that's why I kind of like to do chunks. Small chunks are really nice to work with. So this would be kind of a just this broad example of that goal that is SMART. I want to complete 5 toe push-ups. That's the 5 toe push-ups is the specificity. The measurable is you're completing those 5 toe push-ups. In 6 weeks, that's the time bound, to increase my upper body and core strength in order to limit my upper back pain. So limit the back pain is the relevance. I want to do this because I want to help this area of my life. A lot of times, some people will do really, really drastic diets. And from the outside, we think, oh my gosh, why are you doing such a drastic diet? Well, because maybe they have been on really huge amounts of antibiotics and they have to fix their gut health. And they feel like that is what they have to do that's best for them. But it is that relevancy of it. I don't have that relevancy to really cut back and be so strict with my diet because I don't have anything that makes that relevant to me. So it has to be relevant, has to be time bound. I know we're moving out of order. It has to be attainable, has to be measurable, has to be specific. And so all of those work in harmony together. So if you're trying to brainstorm some fitness goals, I would definitely recommend using just a blank sheet of paper. Brainstorm a bunch of them, see how many you can kind of make them into SMART goals, and choose one. Just one. There'll be times for those other goals that you've created, but choose just one. And then write it down on another sheet of paper where it's kind of like, back to school, you have your rough draft, brainstorming, rough draft, final draft. This final draft one, put it somewhere you can see it all the time, on a mirror in your bathroom, inside of your planner, a Post-it note. Keep it visible so that it kind of keeps you accountable to it. You're reminded of it. And then it's also an easy way to track your progress too. So I hope this has been helpful in figuring out how to set those realistic fitness goals, but also goals in general. Does not have to be specifically fitness. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you're having a great time with the program. Check out the Facebook group, check in there, and we will See each other later.